preachers, when they preach out of the lectionnaire, get stuck with some lousy scriptures. And I read these scriptures this week, I thought about it. I thought about it a lot. It seems like all that's happening here is that people are being condemned. And I think about that. I think about a lifetime sometimes of being condemned for being just who you are. And I have a hard time seeing Jesus saying all these things. But there's a part of me that knows what he's talking about. He talks about a part of us that offends other people. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been around a lot of groups and a lot of people, and sometimes people just can be cruel to each other. They can make comments that they may even think is funny, but they're comments that put somebody else down. Or they're a comment about the way they dress, the way they make their living, the color of their skin. A joke. I know growing up I hated to hear those Indian jokes where they made Indians sound like they weren't real bright or didn't know anything about public accommodations. And everybody would laugh at them, and I'd think, those aren't the Indians I know. I think about the jokes that they made about Polish people, because I was from Michigan and I was from an area that was pretty well concentrated with Polish. You know, things like how many pull-ups does it take to change a light bulb? Stuff like that. And I thought, my friend Stephanie's Polish and I really like her and she's not stupid. She knows how to change a light bulb. But everybody would laugh. And it goes on and on and on about the jokes we tell, and even in our own society we love to tell or make fun of each other. Make fun of lesbians and queens. We even do it with the words we use. It's been a while, but I used to be called dyke, and that used to bother me until days in the tech, because I was never what I thought was a hardcore dark. Queen. I think of that title. I don't know if I'd want to be called a queen if I was a man. The Bible even talks about us not using that title when we talk about God. Did you know that? It says don't call God a queen. I think about that. And I think Jesus was telling us those things, that if we let stuff come out of us that offends people, cut it off. You know, just stop it. I think Jesus was talking to us about the way we should respect the people that we partner up with. Now think about it. I'm not saying that we should never get a divorce, because sometimes I think that marriage vows need to be changed. Instead of saying till death do you part, they say until love do you part. But I think we owe each other the respect of being fair with each other. I don't know about you, but I think when things happen and a partnership breaks up, that it's not right for one to try to take all the assets. I don't know about you all. I've been in those positions. I remember one breakup that I had, and I came home from work and I found out that all that was left there was a bed that was about to fall down, a few dishes, and not many of those, a fork and a knife, one pot, one skillet. But by God, they took all the towels and the wash rags. You ever try to take a bath without a towel or a wash rag? And I thought, why? Why would we do people that way? And yet, that's what happens. People, when they stop loving each other, try to hurt each other. And I think that's what God was trying to tell us. And that's what adultery really is when we hurt each other. When we cheat on each other. And not so much in a sexual manner, but I also believe that if you fall out of love with somebody, that it's only right to say to them, this needs to stop. This needs to stop. Because I love someone else, and not to cheat on them. But I also know that it happens, and it happens a lot. But I know God will forgive us and let us move on. But God was teaching us, or Jesus was teaching us how to treat each other, to end things before we start something new, to not hurt each other. I don't know about all of you, but my partner's promised me that if I ever cheated on her, she'd make sure I never did it to anybody else. And God knows I believe her.
Way to go, Suzette.
We do too. Life goes on. And we work hard. We work hard in this world for relationships, and that's what Jesus was telling us. Let's work on what we say to other people. Let's work that we're not making comments and jokes that could possibly hurt somebody else. Let's look at our own lives and make sure when it comes to taking care of each other, even when we stop loving each other, that we're fair about it. Let's look at what it means to be Christ-like. A preacher once told me to be a good preacher, all you had to do is be able to recite the story of Jesus. And it'd teach you how to be a good preacher. We sang the song today that reminded me of the story of Jesus. Can you think of the people who made fun of him? How many comments have we made that don't need to be made? I believe that God has put us here on this earth for a reason. And that reason is to love one another. Love is what the answer is. God says, I've called you. I've called you in the night. I've called you in the daylight. And I've called you. And I've laid on your heart what is right and wrong. You know the commandments. You've known them since you were a child. They're not that hard to follow. And if you do that, then God is always with you. I like the fact that God promises us so much if we love each other. Jesus tells us there's only the one commandment we need to follow, and if we do, all the others will fall in place. And I think that's what Jesus was telling us, to look into our hearts and see if we're doing it. Are we really loving God with all our hearts, our souls, and our minds? Are we really loving those around us as we love ourselves? I don't know about you, but I like my body to be clean. I like to have a bed to lay down at night and go to sleep in. I like to eat. I like to have clean clothes to wear. What makes me think other people don't deserve the same? Do I love them as I love myself? Questions we need to ask and things we need to do. Simple things, they really are. Look at each other and remember that God told us to be fair with each other. God told us we're better off without our eye or without our hand than we are to offend those that are around us. I don't know about you, but I think I believe God. I try real hard not to offend people anymore, not that I have ever gotten perfect at it. But I ask God to at least help me try. Forgive me when I don't, and teach me to be better with each and every day I live. Why, I'm even trying to stop telling fun jokes. It's not easy for me. Not easy for me at all.
Still do every chance you get.
And I've been better at it.
Your jokes have been better?
A little both. A little both. But we need to remember those things, that we hurt those around us when we do things like that.